Welcome back. You're listening to Rhythm FM coming to you live from Kingston, Jamaica. Of course, we are broadcasting on the FM band at 102.1, 102.3, 102.5, 102.7, and 102.9 on the FM band. And I really want to thank you for staying with me today. And we hope that you have been learning quite a bit listening to the show, because we're trying to bring radio to you in a different way. It's not just a music box. It is something that can help you. You get information to empower you. But at the same time, we can have fun. We can have laughter. It's also assisting you in terms of solving some of your challenges. And don't underestimate that. It's very, very important. There are quite a number of persons who are having challenges. And through this medium, I've been able to assist them in dealing with some of these challenges, which could probably escalate even further. As a matter of fact, some of the things I have not even brought them on air, because persons contact me while I'm off air. So I'm glad we're able to continue to do that. I want to say thanks to those persons who have reached out to me and who have assisted me in doing the work. Because the amount of work that I have to do is not, you don't get a salary for those things. I do them extra. And so I want to thank those. My blog, for example, there are persons who will just send me messages and say, Vernon, do a correction there, change that, and so on. And I want to thank you for doing that. And I must tell you, the blog continues to do very well. And I use the blog to get information to you based on what is also said on air. And the last time I checked, it's just about a year. I had a blog before, but it is just within the past year, over 600 and odd thousand views. My blog has had over 600 and odd thousand views. Now that is significant when you consider that it's not a ray site where people just chat, and as somebody said to me, Vernon, if you'd write pure rubbish and gossip and so on, then you'd have quite a number of views. And basically blogs are not easy to maintain. Because you have to write, and you have to write what makes sense. So I really want to thank those persons who have been supporting the program, and not only supporting the program, but supporting the blog, because within a year to have 600 and odd thousand views, that is something to be proud of. And I want to thank all of you for your support, and to let you know that so long as I'm here, I will continue to serve you and to assist you. Oftentimes we complain about what's happening in the country, and nothing is wrong with that, and we highlight things that needs to be corrected. But equally, as I've said it at the beginning of the program, that when you have somebody doing some good, bring that to my attention. It is very important when persons do good to commend them. Even the government, let's be very frank, the government can't be all that bad. And the opposition too, they do some good things, but if they do bad things, say they did something that is wrong. But many of us tend to clap the party depending on if we support the party. I will tell you, I will vote for a party, but it doesn't matter if any party says something that makes sense. I've heard the NDM, for example, talk with sense. So does the PNP and the JLP. I'm going to support what makes sense, because what makes sense is to support my country. And that comes first. Well, for example, this morning, I heard something good, and I want to commend the government and the Water Commission. I gather that they are now going to work towards bringing more water to us. You might still ask the question whether that will be sufficient, but it is good to hear that they're working, I think, really, to get more water. I don't have the figure with me. I've written it down somewhere there, but it will be quite significant. The only drawback, it will take time. It will take, I think, 24 months. That Mr. Clark said 24 months before. And as you know, in Jamaica, when you have a project, sometimes you can have challenges and there can be delays. But we hope that comes through, because persons have been asking me about the number of buildings going up. And it's not just the buildings, but the fact is the population is increasing. And if the population is increasing, you're going to want more water. And what is happening in terms of the environment, that is cause for concern, because places getting hotter, and for what I hear, it's going to get even hotter. And there's a problem of rainfall. That's a real challenge. So we need to find means and ways to harness water. And it seems to me that the parish councils need to have policies, especially for rural areas, and Kingston too, that if you're going to put up a building, you must have your own storage. That probably is something that every plan should be required to have. You must have your own storage. And as a matter of fact, even Kingston, you can't depend on NWC. Right now you have George, what you going to do. You understand me? So at least I want to say that is something good happening. Another thing good that is happening, and you probably won't see the benefit now, and there are some persons who are fighting it down. You always have that, when you have some good ideas coming up, you have people that tear down, and sometimes they use religion and all kind of nonsense to tear down. It's like the whole vaccine thing. Oh, by the way, that I must admit, with all the challenges, that how they handled the COVID thing was well handled. Other countries with far more resources than us did a terrible job in terms of handling it. I'm talking about my friends up north. And it is amazing, although the take-up of the vaccine was not high, we didn't do too badly at all. So, and I'm spending today to look at some of the good things that has happening and is still happening, because, we can only look at the bad things and make it really depress us. The economy seems to be performing a little better, but guess what? As far as the average person is concerned, until you see a little money in your pocket, the little figures can't help you at all. But I must admit, I love the trends that I'm now seeing. Now, another thing that I see the government is doing, and I want to commend them and encourage them to continue on that road, is the digitization of the economy. Now, that is crucial. Now, there are some persons who are using all kind of thing about the Bible and 666. Listen, man, no talk foolishness, God never made the world to be backward, He did not. As a matter of fact, if you look at the way He constructed your body and the whole world, God is a scientific God. And we invent science, now God invented. So, those who are trying to push us back a wall, you're going against God's will. The way the body is made up is electricity and compute. Yeah, the body functions just like a computer. Yeah, well, just like if the computers are based upon how the body functions, your brain and all them something there, how it transmit messages and everything. Yeah, you understand me? So, I have to commend them on the whole digitization of the economy. We are going to have a new type of money which will last longer, not paper money. That is good, and I hear persons are questioning why you're going to a cashless society and you're still printing a new form of money. Well, I will say to you, we don't reach a cashless society yet. And remember that I'm telling you this. Even when you reach to that state, there are some persons who still want the money in their hand, because the older you get, well, suppose when the computer don't function too well at all. So, I must say the digitization is quite good. The next one that I want to commend them for is NIDS. Now, we know that some persons are objected to it, some based on religion, some is just politics, but that is at NIDS, and if properly implemented, mark my word, NIDS is going to have a major impact on how we handle crime. I know also that they're trying to digitize the police system, or the big book there, and the whole judicial system. I believe that any money we have, we should move it towards digitizing the whole country, so we can become more efficient and we can deliver service in a more productive way. And I must admit, I see moves to do just that. So today, I'm spending my time commending the government for what they are doing. And I must be very frank, the opposition, although they talk about, the opposition is not just to oppose, but to look at the pitfalls in terms of some of the things that are happening. Not just to oppose everything, but they need to question certain things, because if you don't, you will find that governments, and it's not really government, the people become very arrogant and they do exactly what they ought not to do. So that is something we have to think very careful about.
You're tuned to Vernon Darby. Oh, love, get ready for roller. Oh, love, ready for roll, ready for roll, ready for roll. Vernon Darby, roll, ready for roll, ready for roll. Vernon Darby, rolling, ready for roll, ready for roll. Get ready for rolling, ready for roll, ready for roll. Let your conscience set you free. Free, free.
Welcome back. You're listening to Rhythm FM, coming to you live from Kingston, Jamaica. We are broadcasting on the FM band at 102.1, 102.3, 102.5, 102.7, and 102.9 FM. Thank you very much for staying with me. It's your lunchtime. Yeah, it's now 12:24, and I know probably it's getting very hot outside. Remember that it's getting hotter these days, and expect hotter days to come. So make sure that you drink enough water. Well, I'm telling you, I'm telling myself too, because I must admit sometimes I don't like to drink water. But whether you like it or not, it is very important for you to put some water in the body. So make sure that you drink the water. Now, I was talking about some of the good things that are happening in Jamaica. I went through quite a few of them. The move to digitize the economy, the restructuring of the salaries of public servants and so on. We're working on the economy, although there's far more to be done, and the need for more controls. For example, as I said before, I believe that no government should be allowed to incur debt above a certain level. That I would love to see in the Constitution, that you cannot incur debt. Also, it should be set somewhere there in law, more than likely in the Constitution, that the payments made to members of the public sector and the government, it should state exactly what percentage that must be of your gross domestic product, or as the NDM suggested, it should be a multiple of your net. What? Come on, things just give me trouble again. Right. So it must be related to how well the economy is doing, or as the NDM said, your per capita income. So that is something I want. By the way, not talk on air, I'm begging you, if it makes sense, you must run with it, talk about it, definitely. And I must tell you this morning, I felt quite honored when something that I said yesterday and talked about, it was on another media house. So it is good we all listen to one another. And you as listeners, you must listen, and when something makes sense, expect you to run with it. Same way that if I put out a blog and you think it's a good point, then don't just keep it to yourself, share it. Too often we share all kind of rubbish, things that are not really uplifting the nation. We must share things that are good. Now, I mentioned the good things. There are some concerns I have. Cost of local food items here, that is going up. Very concerned about that. Another matter which is very topical these days, and I am coming under fire because of the position that I have taken, and that is word coming from the Minister of National Security that tertiary students are involved in scamming. And I think he identified UTech specifically. I hope to be talking to the minister in the near future about the matter. Now, some persons have become very upset about it and say they should not mention the institution because you give the institution bad name. I find it just amazing, we are more concerned about the name of the institution rather than the name of the country, when young persons who are at that level are involved in criminal activities. You know my position on that we're only looking at how well persons do academically. We're not concentrating enough on how we socialize them. Now, it's amazing, when certain things happen, we don't have a problem with saying where it happened. But because we go to UTech or UE now, when something happens up there, we mustn't say it. And I'm going to say those in the media too, when you went to UE or CAS or whichever school you go to, certain schools, when certain things happen at certain schools, we hear about a reputable institution or a prestigious institution. We are a bunch of hypocrites. We must stop it. If something happens at campaign, say it. KC, say it. If you don't say it for KC, then don't say it for Tarrant, and don't say it for any other school. So, the minister made a point about students at UTech. Now, some persons are concerned. Let me make it very clear. I went to UTech also. And also I went to UWI. But my reputation is not tied to those institutions. No, it's not at all. Therefore, what the minister said, and as I said to some person, the minister is the deputy prime minister in charge of national security. And he could not have made those statements, because if he did, he need to pack his bag and go. If he made the statements without a report coming from the relevant government agencies like the police. Now we can't be telling the minister that he can't say, for example, that a school, take for example, if Tarrant, and I keep on using, why am I on Tarrant? I don't know why. Kingston Sec, for example. The Minister of Education and other persons have come out and mentioned schools where they have challenges. What the hell do you think UTech is special? It can't be mentioned. If students are involved in scamming and they are attending UTech, let us know. As a matter of fact, I tell you why I'm more concerned about at the tertiary level. I'm more concerned because these students, if they are allowed to continue and move up through the system, they'll be your next Prime Minister, the next General Manager. I've said it on this program time and time again. It is one thing to have a criminal who can sign in name, but to have a criminal who is very educated and intelligent. Dog, name your supper. Because when in thief, you can't catch him, Oh, remember me tell you? A well-trained accountant, with them thief and look after them books, you can't find them, and I am quite aware of that. Right? It's like a brother who can say the name properly and not that smart. When in thief, you catch him. As in thief, you catch him. Right? So, Mr. Minister, I want to hear from you more. And as a matter of fact, I heard some students on radio this morning, I must tell you, don't embarrass yourself. Yeah, man. If you're not ready for company people, then radio, don't company people, then radio at all. Because you come on radio, you're not talking. And all you're concerned about is the reputation of UTech. You're not concerned about those young people who might go into the corporate world, or go into government, or turn the prime minister, or turn the politician, and being crooks. And then I get the impression we try to rationalize and say, because they are poor, really? You see, a thief is a thief is a thief. So don't you believe that by tomorrow, because they have money, they won't thief. They say them a thief and no practice. You give them a job, and by the time they get them degree and others and turn lawyer and doctor, what have you, then thief same way. Therefore, something must be done so that we not only look at the academic achievement of our people, but also how they behave. Because one of the worst things to happen is to put a criminal in charge of an organization. So, and by the way, those who are trying to keep it secret, don't forget, that even the churches, when certain things happen, when the priests, for example, molest the youngsters, the practice was to keep it confidential. And you know the damage that has been done. And you know that churches have had to be paying out now millions because of that. Hiding things and concealing things will not help the situation. Let it be known, but what must be known, that so-and-so happened and action was taken. That is what is important. When you keep it quiet, then what normally happens is that sometimes no action is taken, there's no accountability, and persons just get away with murder. All right? So, Mr. Minister of National Security Police Officers, if you have thief, you will want to know. And if the vice chancellor up there thief, you want to know. Nothing is private about it. These are public institutions, and those who lead them, you are living a public life. So we want to know what you're doing. All right? So we want to hear as much details. I not protect nobody. Not if my mother and my papa, I not protect. When you're a thief, you're a thief. Right? Okay. I want to be protect them against criminal. But me, if my brother, I do certain things, my mother into certain things. Mama, you're there on your own. My bride can look for the way they are present. Not my mother. She's something else. And help me to pray for her. She's going through a rough time, doing pretty well. She's over 90, still fighting, and gone to death door more than once, and still fighting. Miss Zina Smith, then call her Miss Fisher. Yeah, man, right at Live Tree there, so that's all the politicians used to come meet at Miss Fisher shop and keep them meeting. And that's why I'm quite au fait with things political. Somebody raised something with me this morning, and recently they was concerned about medical waste, and there was a challenge at a hospital there, I think in St. Catherine, where things were on the compound for an extended period. Well, it was brought to my attention that not only should we be concerned about medical waste, but waste coming from funeral homes. I must admit I don't know enough about that, and probably those who are involved in that sector should send me information and tell me what is happening. Because I can't speak for all alone, I need to speak for myself. And what you all can do, all you have to do is to send me a WhatsApp message to 876-816-5261. 876-816-5261. And for those who have complaints about things, don't bother go fight it out. Send me a message and I will see what I can do. So that is a concern that was expressed to me this morning. Another sad state of affairs that a cop lost his life, and it's kind of close to me too. Yes. When I say close, not my relative, but persons who are connected with the situation. I'm close to them. It's quite sad that a cop, I understand, lost his life. It is allegedly the act was committed by his wife. Very sad situation. I will not go into details, but in the future we'll have to discuss certain things as how the country deal with certain challenges that persons are having. Because let me tell you something, persons don't just get up and do something without a reason. And if somebody get up and do something without a reason, then you know, so I'm mad, they're mad. And if I'm mad, they're mad, something needs to be done about it. All right? I got another complaint also about the roads at in the vicinity of the Coronation Market. It turned bad. We need to fix it. You can't, and these things are getting people upset, government. When you pay yourself more and the road can't fix them, vex about it. So Coronation Market not looking too good at all. Now, I think the final point I'll probably mention before, go and listen to some music. Mr. Minister of Finance. Yes, sir. You need to speak to the nation because there's a little trust problem here. And as the Minister of Finance, we can't have any sort of trust deficit at all. Many of us have confidence in you that you have been doing your job in a very diligent way. But there have been challenges because it's not just about you, it's about the technical persons who surround you, the civil service, as to whether they are doing an effective job or not. And I'm speaking specifically of the kind of salary restructuring that went on recently. And out of that, the teachers have come out and complained about certain discrepancies in salaries. Now, my understanding is that you said that you got only 10 examples of errors, and the impression was given is only a few teachers. My understanding from the president of the JTA, a sample was just given. They didn't give you the thousands of or the hundreds of persons who are having problems. It was just to give an example of what some of those errors are, and for now the ministry to look at it and to investigate, get its own auditors, because you can't expect the teachers to do the work that you ought to do. Mr. Minister of Finance, I'm going to suggest so that you look at what is happening, that your technical people tell you the truth and nothing but the truth. Because I must admit, at this point in time, the president of the JTA came across as if she was a mischief maker. Based on the conversation that I had with her yesterday, and I find her story very believable. Mr. Finance Minister, you need to respond. I know that you might have a challenge, and I will not tell my listeners the details. You might have a challenge coming on this program. But I do hope that you'll come on this program because the doors are open. So I'd love to hear from you because there's a confidence deficit there in terms of, and trust problem in terms of what the head of the JTA said and what you are saying. We can't have that in national life, and the matter must be resolved. My listeners, you heard me? It must be resolved. Because some persons are saying, how come the JTA locked down the school for 10 teachers? And my checking has revealed that this is not so. And sometimes, when there are challenges, I must tell my leader, sometimes just share it with the public, let them know. And if a blunder was made, let them know and they will be understanding. What you have to do is to make sure you put things in place that it does not happen again. But I'm telling you, I will speak more about this. You probably don't have more people complaining about the adjustments in salaries because they get more. So only if you get less, you'll complain. It seems as if the teachers have quite a few persons who have received less salaries after this restructuring. I'm now fully convinced that there are errors, probably left, right, and center. Mr. Finance Minister, you need to respond. You're free to come on this show. But you must respond, sir. If you don't respond, you're going to lose your credibility. You're a good man, working good so far. Love what you're doing, how you're managing the finances. Although some of us don't like how the payment arrangement for leaders, although they tell me to speak to permanent secretaries, but that not going to hold me at all. I got a video, very interesting video, I must tell you, with a police officer who turned himself into a Usain Bolt. You hear me, I tell you? But that show is weird, you know. It's in Kingston here. Let me tell you something. That the policeman there, you know, when he take up his foot in the hand, you know, and when me tell him take after this brother, you know, him and the brother down the road. You know, the policeman is running the pants. But get too tight nowadays, they need to put the police in the short pants so they can run because then the pants are tight, they can hold them back. And I'll be telling you, say, when I look and say, I was so upset, I say, oh my God, look at that policeman go through and he better get ready. I was concerned as well if anybody would come to assist him. And then in about 5 minutes or so, I got another video with a policeman drape up my brother and carrying him apparently to the police station. That was a good bit of news. And officer, whoever you are, I don't know the details, but I know you wouldn't be stupid enough to be just running down somebody for nothing. I want to commend you. And I'm going to suggest that, Mr. Commissioner, get Usain Bolt to go train the police them for run. That what is one, and also train them to get some karate skills, because some of us get too terrible out that we want to take on the police. So when we take on the police, one flick, and we don't pan the gun and we done and we have to behave ourselves. Right? Because other than that, the police officers will have to use their weapon. That man who run from the police, you're lucky, because I said to myself, say, in days gone, people are laughing. I say, what the police are running on the man for? You know, say, bullet can run faster than him. Right? So, I'm glad to say that the policeman, it was something to be, and I'm going to put it up on my blog, you know, seeing that police officer chasing that man. Oh, it was a sight to behold. But I got the first video, as I said before, I was very disappointed. But I'm glad to say the ending of the story is that the police officer caught up with the gentleman, and I'm sure now we will get it. Yeah, try run faster than police. That's why a police officer don't have to be fit to hear. So I am proud of that police officer and the others who assisted him, because there were other police officers there. And that was something else. But I trouble the police there. The police are very rap these days. Everybody, how the police are going. They're going better nowadays. Yeah, but they're much better.